Hello, welcome back to another Bike Ventures video. Today we're in Whitby and we're going to take in the Cinder Trail or Cinder Track down to Scarborough, just under 22 miles on an old disused railway, and there'll be old platforms and old stations there and stunning views over the east coast. So hope you enjoy the video. So there's the old track bed coming from Whitby. We've just picked it up there, the little bridge we started on below. That was, track bed was above us there. So this is the path of the old track bed. Scarborough to Whitby line. We're doing it Whitby to Scarborough today. We did start in Scarborough and we've come up over the moors on some of the gravel paths through the forests. Thank you again. And I'll do a separate video on that, I think. Thank you. Our ride today is going to be about 47 miles all in. This section, just shy of 22 miles, Whitby to Scarborough. Look at this stunning tunnel. Yeah, I think it is a tunnel, it's long enough. Look at the trees and the roots hanging over the edge there. Glorious. Quite busy at this end. I'm sure once we get out into the countryside it'll quieten down. And it's just started raining as well. I'll post there. So we've been out for about 2.5 hours or so already, maybe 3. Just started raining as we head back. But for the time of year, it's chilly, but not too bad. It's Remembrance Sunday today, so 10th of November. It's not too bad considering. Pretty soon we'll be approaching the stunning Larpool Viaduct, which I'll pop some pictures up as well. This one's a real beauty. Imagine back in the day, being a passenger on a train coming over this would have been impressive. You've got a view of Whitby Abbey as you come over it behind us. Good job. If you're heading Scarborough to Whitby, as you're coming over the viaduct, the Whitby Abbey is at about 1 o'clock position. Just coming over, so I'll just see if we can just pick up that. Not sure if you can see that as it curls round there. That's not absolutely stunning bit of architecture. It really is. we're still climbing out of Whitby. Not super steep, but it's 2.5% all the way. And we have been doing for the last couple of miles. The lovely bridge. I believe that this was single track, apart from a few passing places at various points along the route. Imagine, given the terrain and the kind of harsh British winds as we get, it would have been quite a difficult line to maintain, this one. Just feels like the gradient's starting to increase. I know we climb up to a point here and then we drop down, and then we have to go up to the highest point, which is I think around Robin Hood's Bay or maybe even Ravenscar, and then it's a steady downhill run into Scarborough. But whichever way you do it, you climb, and if you do it as a one way, I believe it's not that easy to just get a train back, because obviously this was the line between Scarborough and Whitby, and that's why we rode over the moors this morning, just to give us a bit of variety today, make it a challenging ride. Thank you. Cheers. So it's not a route I've done before. Yep. Hiya.
Hi.
So you can just see ahead a couple of old carriages, which I believe are now holiday homes, and there's a cycle hire here. So we're a couple of miles out of Whitby here, so if you wanted to come and hire a bike from here and head to Scarborough, make it about a 36-37 mile out back. Thank you. Yeah, look at that old station building. Beautiful. Wow. Still got the platform there. Glorious. Yeah, looks like it's the part that's not a bike hire is now a private residence. So just coming into Robin Hood's Bay now. You probably saw that white gate just a moment ago. That was where the track bed originally went straight on, which is now through people's gardens, so we can't do that. And the original station building is just up here, which I will show you in a moment. Okay, so this building straight ahead, Filingdale's Village Hall. Just the other side of it there is the station. You can see the little canopy, little white canopy. This here is the old station building. Obviously we're on the track bed, or the track bed was to the back of it actually. Yeah, still got a waiting room. Glorious. Going down there onto the road. Yeah. Yeah, the track bed was where that building is up there. "17 miles to Scarborough, 4.5 to Ravenscar from here." And I think Ravenscar's over there, isn't it? On that headland. Okay, points to note there is the section straight after Robin Hood's Bay. Once you've crossed the road, it's quite muddy, and we've had fairly dry 3 or 4 weeks, so just bear that in mind. But in winter it's going to be muddy, so think about your tyre choice. Summer probably be alright on a road bike with 28-30mm tyres, but in winter you're going to need some knobblies because it's a bit squelchy. Now, you can hear I'm a little bit out of breath. We're just starting to climb up towards Ravenscar. Now I can see Ravenscar over to the left on the headland, so I know we've got quite an incline to come. Must have been a hell of a challenge for a steam train to get up there. I'd imagine probably doubled up on their engines, and on the way down had a brake van. But it's a lovely line, it really is. Just look at that, how it envelops us like a little tunnel. Lovely. Okay, that last section, as you probably saw, was very rutted, quite rocky. So perhaps my comment about road bike was a bit premature. That was a bit like a dried up riverbed, I would describe. There's a few smoother sections to run on, but you're constantly crossing from left to right, and it's quite rocky in places. And we're still climbing. Okay, well, you just see Ravenscar ahead on the headland. So we're still climbing, we've been climbing for about a mile and a half now, and as you can see, this section's pretty rocky. Not the nicest to ride on, to be honest, and the fact that you're going uphill and having to navigate this kind of surface makes this a tough little climb, even though it's only about 3 to 4%. So just bear it in mind if you're bringing young kids, that fine on the way to Whitby, but not going to be fun on the way back. I mean, to be fair, if you've got young kids with you, 42 miles is going to be a long ride. So if you're going to ride sections of it, be mindful of which ones you pick. I wouldn't recommend the Robin Hood's Bay to Ravenscar section for youngsters, that's for sure. And the wind's picked up, and it's yeah, I can see how grim it would be on a stormy night up here. Okay, we're now in Ravenscar, highest point on the route, and I don't know the history of this place. It was going to be the next big tourist place. So the roads were built, and a hotel, and then not much else. So, not sure why it never came to fruition. It was planned to be the next big tourist resort on the east coast between Scarborough and Whitby, just up from Robin Hood's Bay, and it was on the line as well, so I'm not quite sure what went wrong, funding perhaps. I believe there's a nice tea rooms here as well, and then we'll pick the track up very shortly. I'll just reiterate what I said. Stretch from Robin Hood's Bay to Ravenscar, not particularly enjoyable, not the best surface in the world, all uphill, bit of a drag, it's just not that pleasant to ride. There you go, we're actually on the platform at Ravenscar station now. Lovely view out to sea, and we've got Hayburn White next, which is 3.5 miles from here down through Burniston, Scalby, which is 8 miles from here, and then down in Scarborough where the route starts or finishes. Somewhere just over to our left is an old World War II radar station. In fact, yeah, just to our left now. I'm just going to pull up, see if I can show it yet. I'm not sure you can see those buildings just about there. That was the old World War II station, how many personnel was there, 50ish I think, and they used to listen out to the North Sea, send the signal out and come back. A very early form of radar, but very effective nonetheless. Kept secret from the Germans. Pretty remote, to be honest. I mean, the wind's up now and it's cool, temperature's dropped a touch, it's 3:30 in the afternoon on a November's day, and it's yeah, it's pretty barren up here. There's not a lot, so I imagine being stationed there in the war, as important as your role was, that wasn't the nicest place to be. So we were just chatting with some locals back there, and the climb we just did is planned at some point to be resurfaced, she was saying, and then there's a section down near Hayburn White which is washed away, which I think is the one that's been doing the rounds on social media as being quite bad. I believe there was a road diversion, but I think the council have done some temporary repairs to it, so we'll see when we get there. I believe this is Hayburn White, the old station building, and the platforms, absolutely lovely. Imagine having this as your, we're a mile from White. I'm not sure what station, unless this is the station for it. I think so far for me, the section from Ravenscar onwards towards Scarborough, much nicer than the previous, albeit the views are better the other way. This is a much nicer surface to ride on. Look at that, lovely, wow, how that frames that. As you can see, the light's starting to go. I mean, we're in trees, which doesn't help. It's 3:45 now. Luckily we've got lights. And I think we'll be rolling into Scarborough in the dark or near dark today. You'll see the drainage channels on this line, which is cool to see. And other than the platforms, I've not seen much else in the way of railway architecture other than buildings, platforms and the odd gate. So there we go, that's the finish of the Cinder Trail. We're now back in Scarborough where we started this morning. We've done nearly 50 miles with our little loop up over the North Yorkshire moors down into Whitby and then back along the Cinder Trail. We're at the little miniature railway in Scarborough. Initial thoughts are from Ravenscar to Scarborough is a nice stretch. Ravenscar round through Robin Hood's Bay and on, that's not as nice. Surface is pretty rough, there's a huge climb or descent whichever way you go in, and it's just not that pretty at all. The stretch after Robin Hood's Bay to Whitby is pretty good, but I think me and Lisa have both said we'll put a tick in the box, we won't rush back to do this one again. Might be different in summer, it's rained for the last 8 miles, so that's possibly why. But yeah, not one to repeat. Surface is pretty poor in places. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and there'll be future videos coming up. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.